Hello, in this video I will teach you how to handle exceptions in JavaScript. I am using an online code editor tool named as Plunker. I've added an index.html file that has a button and a div to output our messages. This HTML file references two scripts. The first is the jQuery framework and the second is script.js file. This file has two functions, tagsReader and jQuery's ready function. The ready function is quite simple. It new up the tagsReader function and then outputs the tags object, which is a array of type string. At the moment it has two items, term1 and term2, that is output over here. I will rerun the page and term1 and term2 is the items. We also have a button over here that has a click handler which is written over here. We just call the read tags function defined under tagsReader function, which is this one. This function reads a tags literal, which is a string of some more items, and we perform a split using a comma delimiter, which gives us a tags array, which we later on use to concat with the existing tags array that we already have. So if I click this button now, it just performs a concatenation and output the result. Our application runs really well now. There are no runtime errors, as you can see in the console. Now let us make a mistake deliberately so that our application fails, so that we can see a runtime error. I will just comment this code and make this tags little undefined. Now if I click on the button again, you will see that an exception is thrown, which reads uncaught type error, cannot read property split of undefined. This is because we are trying to perform a split on something that is not defined. So these are the kind of runtime errors that we would like to avoid in our application. So let us see how we can overcome this. In the click function, I will just comment this read tags and uncomment the other function and clear the console. Now this is a function that I've already implemented over here. And the two main statements are same as read tags. The only unique thing is we have added it in a try block. So we add the statements in the try block that we would like to execute, or that we think that it should be protected in a try block, so that if anything goes wrong, we can then catch it. We can catch any exception by using a catch block. Statements that are executed if an exception is thrown in the try block will go over here. So if I run the application now, you will see that I'm just dumping the same error but using a log function. So you can perform any extra activity over here, like log this exception in your database so that you can see it later on to review it properly, or you can handle it accordingly depending on the needs of your application. The next thing that we have is a finally block. Statements that are executed after the try statement completes. These statements execute regardless of whether or not an exception was thrown or caught. Now this is a good way to catch any possible exceptions. But if you write so many try-catch blocks in your code may look messy, as well as, say suppose in this piece of code we are trying to protect tags literal for this example. But what if something goes wrong that tags is undefined? Even in this case, this catch block will be executed, and this will make no sense because in the first instance we added the try catch to protect this and not this. So what should you do then? A good way of programming is to code defensively. let us look at an example how you can do this. I will just uncomment this function, which is read tags with defensive coding defined under tags reader function. So it's doing the same thing basically, but before performing a split, we just check for the tags literal, whether it is defined or not. If it's defined, we then go on and perform a split. And if it's not defined, we then just alert. So if I click on the button now, nothing is happening. So I just need to rerun the application. Now if I click the button again, you can see the no tags found alert was shown to the user. This is because the tags literal is undefined. So let me correct this statement. I will rerun the application. And if I click the button now, everything works as expected. So this is a good way that you should always go for to code defensively using if blocks and other ways. So this is a way how you can handle exceptions in JavaScript, either using a try-catch block or you code defensively. I would also like to show you a documentation which is on Mozilla Developer Network, which is a really good resource for any web developer. So you can see the try-catch statement documentation over here. So this is a sample, the syntax that you should see and try to learn what they're trying to do over here. So you can go for different possibilities. You can either write a try and a catch block. You can write a try and a finally block. That means you're not catching anything, but you would like to finish up by cleaning up some of your code or the process on success or failure. Or you can write all the three blocks: try, catch, and finally. Now there are some ways that you can add conditional catch clauses as explained over here. For example, you can write more than one catch blocks and you just check what the type of the exception that is thrown is, whether it's a type error, a range error, or a eval error. So you can perform accordingly. Now you will see a reminder over here that this functionality is not part of ECMAScript specification. So you need to make sure that you're using it wisely. The rest is, they have also included some of the examples. So you can go through the documentation, and I hope this will explain you how to handle exceptions in JavaScript. If you would like to learn more, please subscribe to my channel and to my blog. See you next time.